August 7th, one day before Lyons Gate, and you've got your lion on your shirt.
I know, that's great.
2023.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mark.
You bet.
It's a phenomenal piece here. Really happy to be here. I have a few questions.
Sure.
How or when did you first come up with this vision?
Officially, I probably had my first vision of the piece about 12 years ago. The title or the name of the piece is Look In Up, which to me represents looking in and then outward and up to what's above us.
Yeah.
And the piece is really connected predominantly with the cosmos, ancient cultures, hieroglyphics. So those things are all part of the story of the piece.
How long have you lived in Sedona, Mark?
I moved here in August of '99.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been a long time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just as beautiful today, isn't it?
As long as you stay off the streets,
Yeah.
it's absolutely gorgeous.
That's a good point.
Right.
But if we look up, right? We look at
If
the
we
red
look
rose.
up,
Yeah.
you know, after we look in, we look up. I think
True.
that's the connection in Sedona for me.
How does it feel for you to participate in such a profound moment in art?
That's a great question. You know, I try to stay out of the side of the art that, you know, that I can't necessarily relate to people. I mean, because sure, it feels great to be chosen, to be part of the community, to be in the Bacco Beyond Roundabout is an honor, you know, to be at the gateway of Sedona with the piece. But the other side of it, it almost has nothing to do with how I feel. It's really with what has been coming through me. You know, the things that have come through since this has started. The model started 2 years ago. It took me 6 weeks to do the model. And then there's just all the processes that were involved at the city level and the, you know, and the public level. So it's been a growing experience. Absolutely. Thanks.
Did you ever drive around the famous roundabouts here and have visions or premonition of your art being there?
Absolutely. I entered all the roundabouts in Sedona as an artist at the call to artist level. So I think the first two were probably put out 14 years ago, possibly. That would be the original Y and Brewer Road. Some people call those the figure eight, which makes sense for the Lion Gate portal that we have, a little figure eight. So yes, I've had visions for a long time about the art and the community and to just be part of it. And you know, I just got lucky and life came together and this one came. So.
Amazing. And what is it that inspires you as an artist?
Well, Sedona really has inspired me. I just found that creative energy and flow in this community, and moving here 24 years ago allowed me to just kind of open up to what's around me, all the things that are around me. I've always been an artist, but I've never had the relationship with the surroundings of the nature and what I consider to be the spiritual equations of, you know, my backyard is a trail up to elephants and, you know, well beyond. So.
And
yeah.
while you're creating your art, do you enter a flow state?
Definitely. I think that goes without saying. Yeah.
Who are some of the people, or mentors possibly, that you have had conversations that you've brought in to bring in vital information regarding this piece of art?
Boy, there's a lot. There's really been a lot of collaboration with different, you know, entities. Right now, we're looking at the Prophecy Rock carving on the column that's in front of the camera.
Wow.
I've spent quite a bit of time up in Hopi lands studying the Prophecy Rock with the elders and just feeling, seeing, and being part of that community. The piece is grounded in Native American symbolisms, but it's really grounded in much more than just that. the stars, the constellations that are in the skies. I've met with an astronomer that has been super helpful about the changing colors in stars due to age and other things like that. So on the real piece, which is coming to be seen, the columns, these stars are all done in colored crystals.
Mm.
And so yeah, those are the two biggies, getting connected with that. And there's been many other people that have reached out to me in various, areas of understanding of ancient cultures that are all represented on the bases of the stone columns.
Mark, can you show me the Egyptian?
Sure.
Thank you.
So starting with the Egyptian, the glyphs are located on about the lower third of each column. And this column has 2 Egyptian glyphs carved into it at the base. It also has Aborigine glyphs, which date back as far back as 40,000 years ago. The next column, we've got Prophecy Rock. This one dropped in the studio and broke, so it's got a little damage, but you'll get the gist. And the Prophecy Rock comes around 2 sides of that panel or that column's base into Sumerian. We go right from that column to the third column, which is going to have the Nazca lines from Peru. And it's going to go right into Mayan from Central America.
Mark, as this piece of art speaks to humanity, what is it saying?
Yeah, that's a really broad brushstroke for me. But I'll go to just the crux of what I intended to do when I designed it, is I intended to bring art into the community that represented kind of a timeless moment in humanity. I mean, I wanted to reach as far back as we could into the time when the skies represented civilization's connection to who they were, what they were. So the piece is really inspired by that for me. The constellations, how many cultures and civilizations measured time and life and seasons by constellations. So all of it, the hieroglyphs are just there to just remind us of all the ancients that came before us.
Such as Lyons Gate, right?
I guess so, right?
Yes,
I mean,
was
isn't
definitely
it? Isn't
a
it?
cosmic event for sure.
Absolutely. And I'm not an expert on any of that. I'm just a conduit that kind of picks up a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then stuff happens inside of me that I see things. So.
Okay, Mark. So
Yes.
as this looking in and up piece
right.
is coming to its full circle where it will be installed here, are you willing to share what your vision and what your next manifestation for art is with us? Please.
Yeah, that's great. Something that's kind of a sister design that I did, oh gosh, probably 12, 15 years ago. Kind of where this design originally kind of grew out of. It relates in some general ways, but I see it really powerfully. I've been seeing it as a piece that would actually be at the SpaceX headquarters for Elon Musk, because it has some extremely important grid information and celestial stuff. I just think it would be really fun to see it go into a place where it could really be appreciated by the nerd kinds, not necessarily the esoterics of the Sedona village, but yeah, for different reasons, I think it would really work well.
Yeah.
So, quick overview of the scale and some of the information of what's going on with the piece. The model is created in complete scale. This is 24 feet in diameter. The highest column is approximately 16 feet off a grade. The base, which has representation of sacred geometry, the grid, squaring the circle. There's a lot of information that's happening in the base. Around the base are 4 directions. The piece will sit exactly in the position. This would be east. This would be south coming into the roundabout, west and north. So One of the things that's important on the column that sits to the east in the roundabout is that the centerpiece, which is created with a Shiva lingam. The Shiva lingam that's going to be used in the sculpture is 5 foot 4 inches tall. It's an amazing, beautiful stone. It has a crystal on top of it. And the eastern column is going to have a core taken through the center at the exact angle of the sunrise on June 21st. And it will take that light and put it into the crystal and illuminate the crystal one morning a week for maybe 5 minutes. Each column is set on steel, structural steel. It's patinaed, it's etched with ancient hieroglyphs, or excuse me, pictoglyphs from the southwest area, predominantly Anasazi. That would include Sinawa, some other indigenous Native American peoples from the southwest. The columns themselves will be made out of limestone travertine, and they'll be carved and integrated with the cultural hieroglyphs, obviously the constellations. There'll be other star clusters that will be independently on each column. A lot going on, a lot of geometry, a lot of golden ratio, a lot of Fibonacci. There's a lot of things that are going on that were integrated into the design. So I just wanted to kind of capture elements that as a society, we are actually attracted to, even if we don't know it. So there we go.